On today's episode of the Habitz podcast, we've got Erica Farmer from Welcome To, and she'll be sharing with us her good habits when it comes to digital learning. So Erica, I used to work in learning development, and obviously I've known you for a number of years, but if you just tell the guests why you are our guest experts.
Yeah, fab. Thanks, Mike. So 20 years corporate learning and development experience working with some of the UK's largest brands, such as British Gas, LV, Specsavers, Virgin. And I've recently set up my own digital learning consultancy, Welcome To Learning Limited. And we're working with hundreds of trainers and consultants and tutors across the world and some large clients to help digitise their learning and development strategies.
So being in the industry for so long and dealing with so many companies, organisations and dealing with many training initiatives, you've probably seen a lot of companies that just try and force classroom training into a digital platform and they get it wrong. So what are some of the bad habits you see when companies attempt this?
Yeah, I think you've kind of hit the nail on the head there, really. So I think companies sometimes recognise that it's a slightly different skill set and mindset, but they don't invest in their teams to be able to go through that journey. So it's not just a case of lifting PowerPoints, training decks, stuff that you might create in the online space is very different to that. So it's really giving your teams the support to be able to think in a different way. And I don't think L&D teams and HR teams recognise that. There's the pressure of perhaps budget, time, costs, stakeholder requirements. Sometimes it's just too easy to get into the make-do space. That's good enough rather than actually wanting to do something fantastic.
And I think that'll be worse with what's going on at the moment, especially sort of the last 12 months. I bet they've got a lot of content there that they would deliver in a classroom and they've just thought, shit, how do we actually give this to our workers when they are working from home now? Well, they've still got to do mandatory learning. We've still got to tick a box and stuff like that. So is that the case?
Yeah, for a lot of organisations, for sure. Digital learning's been on the plan for lots of organisations, and it's something that's kicked down the road because people don't always know how to do it. And you're right. I think if you put poor online learning in front of the workforce at the moment, you're going to perpetuate that myth that online isn't as good as face-to-face, whereas actually it can be as good as, if not better, in the online space if it's done really well.
I thought from my own experience in that sector that online learning was a great way. I sometimes used to say it was pre-learning for a lot of organizations where you can almost introduce concepts and theories and then they can do that in their own time. And then when you do say maybe a Zoom meeting or everyone comes together to discuss it, everyone's got like a base level of understanding. They understand some of the concepts, the language that's going to be used. So when done right, it can be an essential, well, it is, everyone needs to be doing it right, if you want my opinion.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Why waste time with your live sessions just going through knowledge? You're right. Do your flip learning, get it all done up front, whether that's reading, e-learning, research, whatever that might be, and then really maximise your time then online with a tutor in a virtual classroom to bring it to life, consolidate it, use some skills rehearsal, that social learning space that people are really craving at the moment, actually, supporting other things like mental health, motivation, productivity. So when done well, actually, this has a huge impact.
And also, it lowers costs. You don't have to get everybody to travel to one place. You don't have to be in the classroom. There's so many things like that that obviously online and digital learning help a business with. So it actually increases their bottom line, which is, if that's not an incentive for a business, I don't know what is. What are some of the good habits that you do with your own clients or that you've actually implemented yourself when doing this, when being employed at big businesses?
Yeah, so I think number one is get your client, stakeholder, whoever that might be, into the headspace so they totally understand that it's a different kettle of fish and it's not just a case of lift and drop. That taking people on the journey, that mindset piece, to understand it's a different methodology, different pedagogy is absolutely key. And once you nail that piece, then you start to come in with your other perhaps more practical tips around, we used to say in the face-to-face space that content was key. Actually, in the online space, engagement is key. And that's how you drive retention of knowledge and those other business KPIs that you might be looking for from your online training as well. So interactivity, engagement and buy-in is probably the top three.
100% agree that engagement is king. And obviously you want the buy-in from all the stakeholders as well. What would your good habit number 2 be?
Record yourself, record your online sessions. If you're a facilitator or a trainer, there's nothing better for your own development than be able to watch that back. And I've dabbled with that in the in-person space. I know some trainers that might put like an iPad at the back of the room and just watch a little bit back. But now we have the technology, whatever platform you're using, to record your delivery, and you can be that can really benefit you, because actually sometimes I know I've come off sessions before where I've gone, oh my God, I completely fluffed that bit. And then I've watched it back and actually it's landed a lot better than what I thought I did. So definitely record yourself back. And also that gives you a piece of content then for your learners to refer back to if they've either missed a session or they want to recoup something on the session, cover something again. So a lot of trainers in this online space are a bit fearful of doing that, but that would be a huge tip from me.
Also, it's dual purpose there for number one, for your own development as a trainer, and also people, if they do need to refer back, or it can be reused again, sort of like catch-up sessions for those that couldn't make the session. I think that's a really good tip. And also, if you think about it as well, all top professionals, especially in sports, they break down their own performance, and they're probably their own biggest critics. So to get to that elite level in whatever industry you're in this case it's learning development, you want to see what you've done right and what you've done wrong and where you can improve.
It's that growth mindset, isn't it? I don't fail, I learn, and actually what can I do differently next time that's even better? So we preach this stuff. We need to be practicing this stuff as well.
What's your third and final good habit?
Fun, innovation, play with it, energy, passion. As a facilitator, you set the tone and you tell the story with, your vocal and your audio. And we don't rely so much on perhaps, bullet points and text and PowerPoints. We want to make it really powerful and inspirational for people who are attending the sessions. So really, and I guess that plays back to the tip around watching yourself back. Was it a really interactive, interesting, inspirational session that I had with that facilitator? And we can have more fun and have more innovative ideas and practices in the online space using kind of live polls and using rotational whiteboards and different tips and tricks, and just really kind of playing around with it and having fun rather than being kind of stifled and reading from a script or reading from a PowerPoint.
It's interesting you say that. Well, obviously, you are the champion in your business. You're setting the tone for the rest of the business. So if you don't really seem energetic into it or are enjoying yourself, then that's going to rub off on the other learners. But also, it will be shown in how you deliver content or training or learning to your colleagues. So I think that's huge. But we've spoke to a guy called Yuri who does facilitating sessions, not even necessarily learning development. And he says the same thing. There's so many tools available to people, like you said, polls, whiteboards that you can use that just keep people more engaged, break up the sessions and stuff. So that's essential for any kind of online interactions, meetings and learning development.
Yeah, and actually we're finding ourselves really busy at the moment with clients coming to us with senior management teams and sales teams saying, actually we need to make it engaging and online, engaging and interactive for our team meetings, because they are on Teams and they're really boring and it's just one person talking to a screen full of faces, and actually most of those people don't have the cameras on to start with. Or actually, we need to engage with this client. Normally, we'd rock up at their site and, we do the patter and we do the pitch and all the rest of it. But that's not coming across in the way we'd like it to in the online space. So help us understand how we can dial that up as well.
So if I'm listening to this now and I'm thinking, I know we need to improve our online learning experience for colleagues and employees, and we've got lots of people working from home and we're not really nailing it, where can we find more out about you?
Yeah, great. So definitely on LinkedIn, Erica Farmer or Welcome To. I'm on Facebook, Insta, and also the website welcome2.co.uk.
So thanks to Erica for sharing with us her good habits when it comes to digital learning. Don't forget to join us next time for some more Habits podcast.